You only need to know me. I will be the one.
I'll be making other dark One Piece mystery videos in the future. If you like this sort of content, hit that like button and subscribe. For now, these are 10 dark mysteries in One Piece. So we're going to start this off with a mystery that I think Oda just shoved in our face and then said nothing. He just kind of walked away. Who is this person? Standing there in the garden with Imu. Not really a UFO, more like an unidentifiable person. Someone other than the Gorosei knows about Imu. The existence of Imu that is supposed to be a secret to the world because no one sits on the empty throne, right? Or is it only a secret to outsiders? It's confusing because Oda hints at Doflamingo having seen Imu or at least knowing of Imu's existence. Sabo clearly saw Imu sitting on the empty throne as communicated to Monkey D. Dragon. And it seems like Wapol or Vivi might have seen or encountered Imu as well, and narrowly escaped. Just like Doflamingo narrowly escaped Mirjawa when they tried to kill him. And now Sabo might narrowly escape the destruction of Luzia Kingdom. The person in the garden with Imu used Sama in reference to Imu as a form of deference, so this person is below Imu in authority. This mysterious person went to Imu in the garden to let Imu know everyone has arrived. Everyone is in the Gorosei members, the 5 Elder Stars. If this is not a difficult to see Gorosei member as in a difficult to see silhouette, which why hide their face if just another Gorosei member? And so if not, it does actually make sense that Imu would need an assistant. A king might need a maid or a hand, and so this could be Imu's right hand, a bodyguard of sorts. The right hand of the king or queen, Imu, which takes us to number 2. Imu has to have one of the wildest silhouette designs in the entire One Piece series, but what does Imu really look like? Are these long arms, neck, and head really real, or not? And if not, how will Imu look, at all? The king of the world. This scary, scary person that sits on the empty throne on the Red Line, lording over the 4 seas of the One Piece world like a god, capable of destroying entire islands in the blink of an eye. What sort of design could Oda possibly have for Imu that would meet the moment of its eventual reveal? Well, I thought about it and I personally would love for Imu to be presented as a figure beyond this or their world. As in, if Imu was in our real world, secretly pulling strings behind the scenes, I would want Imu-sama to be otherworldly, in a way that even people in One Piece would find supernatural and maybe even demonic. I imagine Imu as a character that defies reality even for the ludicrous powers that already exist in One Piece, which would support why they worship Imu as a god. I've seen drawings of Imu as an attractive woman, as an ancient and wise man or alien, as the lost and rumored to be dead pirate, Rox Dizabek. Some say Imu is Luffy's mother. Others say Imu is Joy Boy's mother or Joy Boy's lover and so queen, or like I mentioned in one of my videos, maybe Joy Boy's right hand. Or maybe a child of Joy Boy's, sad boy or sad girl. Do you think Oda would consider any of these options? Regardless, this takes us to number 3. I recently made a video about Shanks sitting on the empty throne, discussing Shanks' bloodline and why Shanks' red hair is so important. I also hinted at the color red mattering in other ways and teased a future video about it, but I think this video will be good enough for now. The color red, as you can imagine, appears all throughout the story. How can it not? And even our own history. Unless you specifically cannot see the color red for some reason, I read that red is one of the most important colors for a human being to see. In fact, and according to scientific studies, red is the first color that a baby sees. And so, given the importance of the color red, how it is the first color we see outside of black and white. The white warrior, sun god Nika, Luffy. The potential black warrior, Blackbeard. There is the red warrior, Shanks, among the 4 Yonko. And maybe Buggy because he has blue hair, so maybe he's our blue warrior. But anyways, red is the first color that a baby sees. Shanks is one of the first characters we see in the series, as I mentioned in the other video. Why call Shanks Red Hair Shanks when there are other red-haired characters? Why is the color red so important when it comes to Shanks? Again, I think it's his family line or bloodline. But Shanks is now facing Eustace Kid, who also has red hair. Eustace Kid might be an important character for the remaining storyline wherever it leads. And then we have the Red Line. The empty throne of the Red Line is red as well, and Imu's eyes are also a red color. Imu is the king of the world, sitting on the red empty throne on the Red Line. And coincidentally, the color of the Supreme King, Conqueror's Haki, is red. The color of the Supreme King then is red. Perhaps Imu is the Supreme King of the world. Or perhaps this color is attributed to the former Supreme King of the world. I would also ask, does Shanks come from a powerful bloodline as I mentioned, and perhaps a bloodline so royal that his royalty, his kingliness we can call it, is reflected in both his red hair and his strong haki? Maybe the bloodline of Joy Boy or a Gorosei member or someone else. Now some other red things that come to mind though are the 4 road poneglyphs that lead to Laugh-Tale. And so these 4 red objects, 4 red poneglyphs that pave the road to get to Joy Boy's treasure. Red once again tying us to the end game of the series. I'd also add the 2 others that wore the straw hat are Goldie Roger and Monkey D. Luffy, who both wear signature red clothing. Maybe that's not as important as the other things I point out, but you get the point. The straw hat takes us to number 4. So speaking of the straw hat, it's been passed down the generations. I'm actually really interested to find out who the first person to wear the straw hat was. Perhaps back during the Void Century, or before that. I know many thought it'd be tied to Wano since we see some hat making there, but why was the hat made? What does the straw hat represent? Or why or how did it come to represent that over time? Some call it Joy Boy's crown, and I know that I've personally adopted this community terminology myself. A crown passed down to the rightful heir, to sit on the empty throne perhaps, and that might support my reasoning about Shanks sitting on the empty throne. Maybe there were 2 kings, or there was a civil war like the United States of America in the past, and other places that got cut in half over political divisions and different answers to not just the world's histories, but the present and the future are calling, asking as well. Joy Boy and Imu might have arrived at a different answer to the world, a different vision, one of freedom and one of oppression. It's possible that one sat on the throne of the sea, maybe even the empty throne, and was perhaps labeled a devil, and so a sea devil. The other sits atop the land. I just wondered now. We are told about the mother of the sea despising devil fruit users, but we are told by Shanks that the sea devil or the devil of the sea created devil fruits. Is it possible Mother Nature, or rather the mother of the sea, and the devil of the sea, are 2 different people? The sea references the sea devil, and perhaps devil fruits are really just the dreams or desires of dead sailors, and somehow the sea swallowed and carried away their dreams after they died at sea. Maybe this sea devil had a mother. If Joy Boy is the devil of the sea, could his mother have been Imu? Motive is something most characters need. It's rare to get a story where you have more than one villain or antagonist that lacks motive. Even most serial killers are driven by some kind of motive, although the occasional telling simply has a killer that just kills for the sake of it. That's true, defying all reason, all logic. So maybe a motherly role would give Imu ample motive. Even Rob Lucci in the story now when you think about it. At first he was believed to be a motiveless, bloodthirsty killer that just followed instructions. And now we see from Rob Lucci a man that seems to be motivated by a desire, a bloodthirsty desire, even compelled by bloodlust to defeat Luffy, vengeance over his prior loss. And so yes, I do believe Imu should have a motive. And so this takes us to number 5, the last dark mystery for this video. When you think about it, most anime characters or protagonists of a certain age have some reference or mention of their parents that spawned them, however negligible the mention. I can understand skipping over one parent of the Straw Hats, but it doesn't seem right for Monkey D. Luffy, does it? For example, we met both of Sanji's parents while Zoro's parents have so far only been introduced in a random press release by Oda, a Vivre card or SBS or whatever it's called. There have been hints or subtle mentions of some of the other Straw Hats' parents or other parents. We've met Luffy's grandfather, a vice admiral of the Marines, Monkey D. Garp, who officially introduced us to Luffy's father that saved him in Logtown, Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. What sort of person was Luffy's mother then? A Marine as well, like the grandfather, a revolutionary like Dragon. I think it would really depend if she is the daughter of Garp after all. Or did Luffy's mother, if we ever meet her, did she originate Dragon's passion for the revolution, back when Monkey D. Dragon was in the Liberation Army? No, I don't like the theories of Luffy and Robin or Luffy and Crocodile being related via some contortion of who is the mother, or the father even for that matter. The real father, that is, but I do like the idea of Luffy's mother having died, been killed, That's one way for Oda to handle it. Or the alternative and darker possibility that Luffy's mother has been a prisoner for as long as he's been alive. For nearly the last 20 years. Maybe 16 years. The number 16 that has been associated with Imu, which also signals an important time or age based on Luffy's ringing of the ox bell 16 times, right? 16 was also used alongside Luffy when he fought Doflamingo and apparently when he fought Enel as well, or at least by Enel. What if it was 16 years ago that Monkey D. Luffy last saw his mother as a baby, and he now has no recollection of her? What if it was 16 years ago that something terrible happened and Luffy's mother was gone for some reason or another? Dead, captured and taken away, or worse. But as usual, we will have to wait and see. And don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts below, share this with your friends, and subscribe. Also click the notification bell. And if you have a Twitter, feel free to give me a follow in there as well. As always, there is more to come. Until next time.